The next big life simulation game is on the horizon, with its gameplay reveal making a serious first impression on prospective players. But did you spot all the hidden details in Floatopia's extended trailer? Well, here's everything you might have missed. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Sunstone, and today we have a brand new episode of Thinking Out Loud, the show where I explore a variety of interesting and exciting gaming topics and share my honest thoughts with you all. Today's hot topic is Floatopia, the recently announced superpowered life simulation game. I will be fully breaking down the extended trailer, going over everything you missed, and chatting about what we know so far. Please go ahead and shine the lovely like button if you'd like to see more Floatopia content. Otherwise, without any further ado, let's get right into it. So starting off with the introduction of the trailer, it has a very apocalyptic setting. You can hear over the loudspeakers a voice saying that the world is ending, but don't panic, stay calm. We do get to see one of the NPCs named Joy, who says, you know, if the world's gonna end, at least I don't have to go to work. And then it kind of transitions into this, come join our floating islands in Floatopia. So I don't know if this is just to set the scene for the trailer specifically, or if this is actually how the gameplay is gonna start. This might be the introductory cutscene, kind of explaining how we all end up floating in the skies, which is pretty cool. It has a pretty compelling story if that's the case. It seems a little bit more unique than just, hey, you're bored with your life, let's go start a new one. It's like a little bit of a twist on that, so very interesting, a little bit dark in the beginning, but transitions to so much brightness. So then what I actually didn't notice the first couple of times I watched this trailer is that it actually looks like we will have our own floating islands. In theory, this would be ours. This would be up for us to customize, terraform. It would take us throughout the skies, and this is how we can maybe meet up with other players on their ships, visit like stationary floating islands. Now we do see a couple other floating ships in the background. This one's like a cat, and these two look kind of like sheep. So that could lead us to the question as to whether these ships will actually be upgradable, if we could expand them to become bigger, if we can customize the animal. Although there is perspective at play here, these ones are also smaller, because if you just compare the size of the house to the size of the island, they are smaller. So I don't know if we'll start out with something smaller and then we'll end up with something bigger, or if these are maybe the NPCs islands. I mean, you can completely see characters hanging out on here. There's like a pier for fishing. So in theory, this will be like ours to work with and decorate and customize and all that stuff, which is pretty cool. So in this shot, we can see Joy, one of the NPCs, with two player characters, it appears. And I love how you can actually see the fish in the water, and it has so much detail on it, like there's all these rainbow scales and such. I also really love the cute items we can see here. There's a cute little chair, a picnic blanket, and a watermelon. Now, this could just be for the trailer, but I instantly thought of Animal Crossing New Horizons, where a lot of the villagers will walk around with little snacks. And so I wonder if the NPCs will kind of have little snacks, if we can hold little snacks, if we can eat food even. Will that replenish stamina? Will that give us buffs? Will it just be kind of like for fun? We don't know. This, again, could just be for the trailer, like a cinematic. The other thing you'll notice is that there are a lot of butterflies in these clips. So there are bugs in the world. We don't know if there's going to be bug catching or not. It's a possibility. In this shot, we see two NPCs and a player character. This NPC over here, we will see them and their superpower a little bit later. And then the character who is on the hammock has actually been introduced to us on the official website. Their name is Kiwi, and they're an on-call at work, yet out of sight during time off employee at a grocery store. So that basically confirms a grocery store of some sort. And their useless superpower is the ability to perfectly fit any item into a perfectly sized bag. I don't know how that's going to come into play in the game, but it's very interesting. They have like a little shopping cart or like shopping basket as a hat, which is a cute little detail. And their hair actually looks like lettuce. So I think that's so cute. Now, a few interesting things here. We can spot some really adorable decor. So we have this, which I believe is one entire item of clutter pieces. like this is bundled together because you will see it again later on in the same arrangement, placed on top of the table. So these are two separate items that you could decorate with. And then there's that chair again that we saw earlier, as well as a bread or like snack basket, which we'll see again later. So this seems to be a decor item. The lantern you'll see again as well later in the trailer. So that seems to be another item that you can place in different spots. And then there is a tent as well as a picnic blanket out front of it. So first of all, I think this basically confirms that you will be able to place different like rugs and mats and blankets and stuff on the grass. And then as for the tent, I don't know if we'll start out with the tent and then upgrade to a house, but it seems like whether or not that's the case, we will be able to keep the tent because later on we'll see a setup with both the tent and the house. So it's not like an either or type of deal. It could also just be a decoration. Like we might start in a house, we might not start in a tent, but we'll have to wait and see. We can also see a really pretty looking bridge over here. So that's likely part of terraforming. And then the two other interesting things in this shot are, first of all, there's like this really cute tricycle with the balloons coming off the back. And although the NPC is riding it, I'm definitely wondering and speculating on the fact that we might be able to have mounts like this ourselves. And then this could just be for the trailer, but I think it's really cute how the player character like flips the NPC off of the hammock. And it just makes me think about how cool it would be if some of the items had interactions that you could do with them. Obviously, it doesn't need to be like to this extent of cinematics, but just being able to interact with items would be cute. I hope we can actually have hammocks like this. I don't know if this were in the game. I don't know how that would work because you'd either need to find like two perfectly placed trees or place two trees perfectly to attach the hammock to it, or the trees could be like part of the item, so you would place it all together. In the next clip, we get to meet another NPC. Their name is Fluffy, and they have this cute little dog, toucan. They actually almost look like a bit of a, I want to say like a sheriff of some sort, because they have this star badge and they sort of have a little vest on. I also thought it was cute that they included their personality types. So Fluffy's personality type is ESTP, and we don't really know what this character's superpower will be. It seems that all the superpowers in the floating islands are described as being useless, where they're sort of quirky and not what you would, expect from a superpower. It could have something to do with like digging, because we're seeing this character like kind of rummage around, but I'm sure we will learn that in the future. The character finds this, it basically looks like I'm gonna call it an onion. It's also starting a countdown. It's initiated a countdown here. So there are definitely what seems to be some unique and like magical almost crops, because you're gonna see this one actually has an effect. The countdown starts. Fluffy throws this, it literally looks like a grenade. So then we're meeting our next NPC. This is Mystica. So Mystica has the INFP personality type, and her superpower is that when she gets emotional, things around her get scary. The air gets chilly, eerie winds come out of nowhere, lights flicker, and spooky music starts to play somewhere in the distance, which is kind of funny. But you'll see that in practice actually, because she gets spooked by this crop and everything around her, including herself, freezes. So the fish that she was fishing freezes. She is now in this ice cube. Super unique, super interesting. Then we pan over to Pandy, who is a cheerful and laid-back foodie with the INTP personality type. Now she's actually eating a little ice cream cone, and her superpower is that she can eat without feeling full and inflate like a balloon. So the nutrients from the food that she eats are apparently released into the air, which allows her to eat as much as she wants. So of course, based on her description, she instantly is like, oh, I'm gonna eat that. That's a crop. She goes for it. She tries to bite into it, and she's like, oh, I don't think I can eat this. So I'm not interested. And then she chucks it away. And then we meet Blitzy or Blitz. And we don't know anything about this character yet, other than the fact that they have an ESFJ personality type. Their superpowers may have something to do with electricity, just based on the name. These little like lightning bolts over here. Also, their hair has like plugs on the ends. And then also, if you look at their back, they have this little like cassette tape, it looks like almost, as a cute little backpack. So maybe something to do with music, based on the microphone, maybe something to do with electricity, not sure. But they go ahead and throw that crop away as well, until it ends up where we were fishing and munching on our watermelon with joy. And the countdown's over, the onion explodes, everyone goes flying. You can see Fluffy, Pandy, Mystica, another NPC. This is an NPC, I'm pretty sure, because we've seen them on the website and we'll see them again later, but we don't know who they are yet. And then we have Joy, of course, and then the 2 player characters. So we go flying. So now in this clip, we were looking at the cloud sea, where you can literally see fish jumping through the clouds. So you can go fishing here. We can also see that breadbasket item again, as well as the picnic blanket and the chair, the tent as well. So we're seeing some of those items as repeats, which, you know, presumably means we'll hopefully be able to decorate with them. Same with this item. This is that cluster of like the chip bag and the 2 cans. And then this, I believe, is one entire item, because again, we'll see this all together in the same setup later. There's also a cute little cushion here. So there's lots of really cute items. So here we get to take a look at some of the wildlife. Now, it's been said that the wildlife have superpowers of their own. They're very whimsical and mystical and all that. From what we can tell, these are crab-like critters. The ones in the back remind me of yaks. Of course, the one hopping in the front is very deer-like. There are also some cute little birdies down here that actually look like their bodies are in the shape of bells. The animal back here is really interesting. We'll see it again later, but it almost looks like, gosh, the face looks like an owl squirrel kind of hybrid. And then the tail is giving peacock, but the actual components of the tail remind me of party blowers or noisemakers, honestly. I also really hope this is an emote we can do, like a little dancing emote. I think that would be so cute. So then we get to take a look at an interior. So this is, you know, presumably the player's house and their bedroom. Although it looks like you probably start out with just one room. So this all looks like it's mostly furniture from the same set, because it all basically perfectly matches. It's all also super cute. We can see different types of wallpaper. So, you know, this is all speculation, of course. This whole video is speculation, but it looks like we can probably place different colors of wallpaper on different walls. There'll be different types of flooring probably. There are some different area rugs. There's one at the entrance and one at the base of the bed. I also don't know if we'll be able to change the windows, but I love the lighting that's coming in from this window. It's beautiful. We have some wall decoration items, so things you can hang on the wall, like a corkboard, a little cabinet, some Polaroids on a string, another little shelving unit here. Then we have like some core furniture pieces, like a bed, a side table, a desk, a really cute like chair with little bunny ears, a clothing hanger, and a wardrobe. And then, you know, some other fun odds and ends, like a giant rabbit plushie and whatever this reminds me of an egg, but it's some kind of plushie here as well. So super, super cute, you guys. Like, gosh, if we can actually decorate with items like this, it's going to be an absolute dream. In the next shot here, the player is leaving their house. So this is at least one variation of what our houses will look like. The team has confirmed that, you know, some of them will look like milk cartons, for example, like this one, which I think is so fun. Everything is kind of made to look like little toys, which I love. There are some decor pieces. So on the side here, there's a really cute succulent cart. It's almost like in a wheelbarrow, it looks like. And then there's some kind of crate back here with, I don't know, maybe some candles on it, or there's something placed atop it for sure. So just some cute little decor pieces and some fencing. And then that lantern I mentioned earlier is over here again. There's also that bridge we saw earlier, but we can see the whole thing now. And then there's also a flat bridge. So it looks like there'll be different types of bridges we can use when we terraform. Of course, we can see that it is very rainy weather. And actually, our player is about to get shocked by lightning, as is the NPC here. So I don't know what exactly this has to do with anything, but it's definitely interesting. I'll give it that. So in the next shot, we can actually see a gacha machine. So here it actually looks like this gacha machine changes the weather because it rolls and then it's like sunny, right? And we can see on the side of the machine here, there's a sun, there's rain, and there's snow, which is really interesting. I've literally never seen something like this before. Here we can see sort of like a farm area. Now in the background, there's actually a cute little pet house or dog house. So I definitely wonder if we can have a pet. I think that'd be really cute if we could. You can also see, I believe this is that tricycle we saw earlier back here behind this character. A really cute arch with a gate attached to it and has like little animal ears on it. So everything's just like super cute, right? A little mailbox over here. We can see 3 player characters and 1 NPC in the middle. Now this character is holding something. It's a tool that we'll talk about later when we see it again. But for now, we're going to focus on this NPC who has their superpower activated, which looks like it's some kind of like cola power because their hair actually looks like cola. It basically like waters your crops, but it also instantly grows them. So that's pretty cool. And here we can see those interesting crops that were grenades, basically. Also worth noting that these characters are all emoting. Then in the next clip, we can see the players harvesting crops with these really awesome vacuum tools. So that looks like a really fun way to harvest your crops. And then this is a different angle of the garden. In the background, there's a lighthouse. I don't know if this is just like part of your island or if it's a piece of decor you can place. Don't know if you can go inside it, but there's a lighthouse in the back and it looks really lovely. And then here it actually looks like they're throwing those onion-like crops at other crops, and we can see the pink clouds again. I don't know why they're doing that. I don't know if maybe that's like a interesting way to harvest your crops, or if they're just like causing chaos in multiplayer. I'm not sure what it is, but it's definitely interesting. Then we get to see a ton of terraforming here. So this is within our island, and it looks like you can actually fully terraform the land here. So you can create rivers, ponds, all that stuff, cliffs as well. You'll see we're gonna build up here. So you can really create cliffs. You can create waterfalls as well. You can add trees. You can see the tent down here, right? So there's going to be a tent and later there's going to be a house up here. So they have both. Also the bridge, of course, that nice curved bridge. And it looks like you can even decorate with like foliage and stuff. Suddenly there's like all this grass here. Maybe that just grows in naturally, but there's like some pathing and some grass. And then they start to add in like lily pads and stuff, you'll see. And, like lotus flowers, bamboo trees. You know, then we get more to decorating with the fencing, the house up here, some vertical gardens. There's even, it looks like almost like mushrooms up here or something. I don't know. There's something going on up here. Some different types of trees too. A windmill, that pet house is here again, some trellises. So yeah, lots of designing, lots of terraforming as well going on. It even looks like they added a little log here, which is cool. So yeah, it looks like the terraforming is going to be very good. I also noticed these like purple almost like mushrooms or trees in the background and like flower fields. It looks really pretty. In this shot, we'll also get to see that it looks like there could be seasons or this could be the weather mechanics. The only reason why I'm teasing the two apart is because we don't know if it goes through different seasons or if it's just like you can change the weather with that machine at a random chance or whatever, right? Like we're not sure how that's going to work, but there will be some type of weather system at least. So then, oh my gosh, there's a lot going on in this time lapse, but it's basically a lot of player characters designing together. So we have that milk carton house over here, a bunch of trees and cliffs and stuff. And you'll see they're going to be like tearing everything down and kind of like flattening it out and then creating a whole cute little area. There's a bunch of different tools that are shown here. It looks like there's quite a variety of tools for terraforming and building purposes. So there's these that are like basically giant plastic scissors or shears, which look like they will be used to like cut down trees and trim hedges and stuff. Then there's also these little like excavators. It looks like you actually wear them like around your torso, and then you have this little like claw on the front for terraforming. So this is presumably how you would like dig up dirt and like maybe break down cliffs and all that stuff. And then we have this roller one, which looks like it's for pathing. Of course, you can also see all the cute different outfits. So there's going to be lots of different clothing items and accessories to style your characters with. We're going to see a few different types of pathing. So there's this more natural kind of pebble one. There's a brick one with this really nice natural edge, but then you can also have a sharper edge as we're seeing here. They're also adding the fencing here, some cute little string lights with little jars on them, that arch again, two cute little dessert carts, a barbecue, and then here this is actually multiple items because we will see here. So this is that bench item, right? And these are two different items put atop the bench. So we have stacking, which is great. We also have layering rugs on paths on grass. So that's very cool. There's two cute little lounge chairs here, which looks so sweet. So that's why I thought this was all one single item, is because we see it all again here placed in the exact same way. There's some cute little cutting boards with carrots on them and that bread basket again. I'm really curious to know if we'll be able to customize the color variants of any of these items. There's also a really cute balloon item back here with it almost looks like a little gift on the bottom. So again, just lots of cute decor items. This is also a reaction that the characters are doing. I believe they're calling them actions because in the pre-registration goals, one of the rewards is actually an action called Really Like You. I don't know if it's this one or not, but it might be. So this portion of the trailer is sort of to show how while you can just play with your friends on your island in a more intimate setting, you can also venture out into like the skies and visit different bigger islands where you might meet new friends as well. So we see our floating ship again, as well as some in the background here. Now, interestingly, I don't know if it's just me. These kind of look like coins almost or something. I don't know. Almost looks like you could collect these. And then we're approaching one of these big, fancy, themed islands, of which there's said to be many. It looks like our ship might have some kind of docking system, or this might be there and we like pull up to it. It looks like a cute little pillow cloud almost. And then we have our own little cloud car, so this is what we'll actually use to get off of the island and go visit other ones. I do wonder how much freedom we'll have over controlling the cloud car, if it'll just be like we get on it and then it takes us directly to the island we're docked at, or if we can actually kind of control it a bit and drive around. I'm not sure, but the player, pulls up onto this new island. Really interesting because, in the background, it almost looks like full crystals here. And then these trees, or whatever they are, they look so cool. They basically are like cherry blossom petals and they have like light bulbs in them, like orbs of light inside of them. And so this is that other NPC I mentioned earlier. So maybe this is where we'll meet the NPC at first on this island. There's also a bunch of wildlife that we saw earlier, as well as a bunny. It actually looks like the bunny has like balloon ears. And then this player character actually has a duck car. So I don't know if this is a land mount compared to a sky mount, or if you will be able to customize your cloud car to actually look like a duck car instead, for example. And so then we're setting off to explore. And there's that. Here, we can see this animal better. So see what I mean when I say it's like an owl, squirrel, peacock, but then it's like, well, now it looks almost more like balloons. And then here we see the culinary delights, either island or area of an island. Now it looks like there could be some platforming challenges. It looks like we can actually maybe order food here. There's like an order spot and an NPC of some sort, maybe serving food. There's also some monkeys that look like they have like coil or like spring arms. So this kind of just gives us a sample of how different the places we can visit can be. And then we have this beautiful magical shot of a bunch of players and NPCs at a campfire. There's a bunch of wildlife as well. There's actually another, I believe, a new NPC right here. Now this one looks like a bit of a navigator or wayfinder because their hat has like a compass kind of deal on it. So maybe they'll help you with, finding your way around when you first move to the island skies. I'm not sure. And then this is some sort of van or car, and it's kind of like a living car because it's an axolotl, but I actually think this might be a shop because we'll get another look at it later, but it kind of looks like it could be a traveling merchant. There's also the tent in the background, and then the player is playing a ukulele, so I do wonder if there'll be musical instruments or, some little fun activities you can do with others. We kind of take off flying through the sky, hand in hand, which is so super cute. And the NPCs join us as well. The animals are with us too, which is really cute. There's Joy and Mystica. And apparently we're all flying to the moon. Now, I don't know if this is just for the trailer or if this has any significance to the story. The story seems quite mysterious. We don't really know a lot about it yet. Here we go. This is an even better shot. You can see, doesn't it look like almost like a vending machine on the side or something like that you would order from and then it might dispense over here? There's definitely something going on here that's more than just a mode of transportation, in my opinion. It's interesting because then we're on this bed, kind of on the Milky Way. I don't know if the squirrel is there with us because it's like our pet or just because it's cute. But then we zoom out and we're in this globe, like a snow globe. And we can see the floating island figure over here. There's some like almost blueprints for, I don't know if this is the house or a shop or something. And like the vehicles, but there's some blueprints here. There's like another mini diorama over here. It looks like this is in someone's room, like gazing out at the city. So again, I don't know if this is just artistic and cinematic or if this does have any significance to the game and the story. Like maybe we're living in this literal like toy world and that's what this is representing. I'm not sure, but it is really interesting. And the only other thing in the trailer is just the pre-registration page, so you can do that at their official website. So that was a full breakdown on the extended version of the Floatopia trailer, along with my initial thoughts. But what do you think? In a recent poll, I asked which aspect of Floatopia you're most curious to learn more about. And it was actually pretty close between the top two picks. So coming in at number one with 36% of the overall vote was island hopping. I'm really curious about this one too. So far we've seen maybe 2 different major islands we can go to, but from the way the team's talking, it sounds like there's going to be quite a few. So I'm definitely curious about that. I'm curious about the cloud car, as I said, how the docking system works, how we can explore like all the logistics, as well as just the different destinations we'll be able to go to. It's very exciting and very intriguing. And following hopping at number 2 with 30% of the vote, so very close to island hopping, was the story. And this would actually be my personal top pick because, I mean, the beginning of the trailer just looks so mysterious with this whole like apocalyptic kind of vibe. And then especially again, the end of the trailer. I'm so curious to know if that whole scene of flying into the sky and zooming out to be in this little globe, I'm curious to know if that has any significance. Yes, it's all very, very cute and very like toy-like, and I'm obsessed with that. But I'm also really curious to know, you know, what more there is to it. It kind of feels like there is going to be more to the story just based off what we've seen so far. And I really hope there is, because I love a good story in a game. I feel like it can help you really get immersed and get to know all the characters and their stories and all that stuff. Next up, 20% of you voted for superpowers, especially because those superpowers are those like unconventional, seemingly useless, quote unquote, superpowers. But it looks like they're gonna find some really fun ways to implement those powers into your actual gameplay. Like we saw the cola kind of power actually having an effect on your crops. Perhaps all of the different superpowers will impact at least the world, if not our gameplay, in some fun and unexpected way, which I love. I love to be kept a little bit on the edge of my seat. I love it when games try something new. I love it when anyone tries something new and creative. And then only 14% of you were most curious to learn more about the multiplayer features. And it's interesting because this game seems to be very unique in terms of how it's going to implement the multiplayer components, at least from what I'm understanding. It seems like you can choose to play just kind of on your own, and you won't feel alone because there will be all the NPCs and the wildlife. But if you do want to play with friends, it seems like you can set things up so that you can play together in a more intimate setting. So I imagine that would be inviting your friends to your island or vice versa, and that would kind of be closed off. So that might be invite only, for example. But then it also seems it might be a bit of a greater scale too, where you can travel to these other islands and connect with other players online. Definitely let me know down in the comments which of these 4 features you're most curious about, or maybe it's something that wasn't even on the poll that you would love to learn more about. Anything and everything. You know I always love hearing from you. Please go ahead and make sure you're subscribed with your notifications on to stay in the loop. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and until next time, take care.